This time on DayZ, I'd be taking on another solo adventure, with the aim to achieve riches and true success within about a week of playing the game, on a server filled with squads and large groups doing the exact same thing, and I was pretty late to wipe. These groups were already established, so what could I really do with so much stacked against me? That was my question. I spawned in like everybody else, a fresh spawn on the coast, but this particular time I was near Electro. You see, I had a problem. I was sick. So sick, in fact, my voice hurt too much to talk and I could barely breathe, but the show must go on. This whole run really would never have started without the huge luck streak I was about to have. Running into Electro, I found a train right away, and it had so many keys I truly wanted to scream "what the fuck" repeatedly, but my throat felt like I swallowed glass, so I carried on. And yes, I found gunpowder in that same train as well. The first key was directly back up the coast, so I ran back, and it actually got me started with some basic armor. And of course, I had found a few weapons as well, so at least I could defend myself as I ran to the rest of these keys. One after the other, I gathered some pretty useful equipment. And by the time my inventory was filled, I decided to run up to the black market trader to sell everything, and then buy the remaining items I needed to start this base. You may be thinking this whole process is moving really fast, but that's exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't running into any players. It felt like nothing was in my way. So I used my next key for some meds and continued running from shed to shed, killing zombies and wandering around the map, until I ended up back near a spawn town in the village called Olsha. This would become a very familiar town for me over this adventure, as it's the place I would actually set up my base. Something about this village just felt right. I hadn't ever put a base here, so I decided why not take over the wooden cabin in the middle of town. I had finished my walls, my base was set up and secure, and I was getting a little tired from being sick, but before being done for the day, I went back out a few more times. After the first encounter, I thought it was all over, but of course it wasn't. The last thing I did before logging off was finish up a few more gates, just to ensure that the cabin wouldn't be raided by the time I did get back on. Okay, so I've been sick for a little bit, but that's fine. I still played, I think, for a day, and just set up this, like, small base. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing impressive. There's only 3 gates, but the storage is decent. I mean, I have a few weapons to use in here. Storage is just kind of random tools and shitty guns. But we have another key for the whatever DayZ I church. So we're going to run down there. We're just going to open that key room. That's how I'm going to start today off. Well, that was the plan, but a few seconds into leaving, I found some more storage in a shed just outside my base. So I placed it away inside and headed back out toward this next key room. Bro, another train? This is what gave me so many keys, like at the very beginning. I might check this. As I began to look for more keys and nails, my attention was quickly shifted to a rather large base that was right here in Berezino. What is that? Well, we got some new neighbors, 2,500 meters away. This is probably completely looted now. This whole town probably is. I'm gonna check this base. Let's see what's up. It's like a rust roof camping base that's not very tall. That's like exactly what that is. What is it with roof campers, man? Why are they always near me? That was a dead zombie, so we're gonna mark this base quick and get out of here. With clear evidence of active base owners in the area, I quickly marked this base down on my map and continued towards the key room. And as I left, of course, shots rang out behind me. That was back towards their base where those dead zombies were. Okay, let's get to the church and then I'm gonna run back there, bro. I'm gonna snipe these guys. With some eagerness, I headed back towards this base with my new weapons, and along the way I found even more evidence of these owners in my area.
I think that must be this roof camping group. They just know there's a plank pile here. One of their buddies ran into somebody, killed him, or got killed. The other guys ran back.
I wasn't just grasping at straws here, it seemed pretty logical, and at this point I was very hopeful for a firefight with these guys. But as I ran through DayZ I again, I saw nobody, heard nothing, and I wasn't exactly being stealthy about it either. So with a little disappointment, I left the area and made it back home safe. But this was more motivation than ever to fortify, as I knew my base was an easy raid at this point. So I started building a little bit more. As I began work on this next airlock, I realized very soon that my nail supply was running low. So low I wasn't going to even be able to finish this base expansion. I needed to gather more, and with not a whole lot of leads on nails, I moved to the closest military zone for some PvP that could definitely supply me what I needed.
Look at that. Hello, buddy. See what he does here. He's going over to the bridge, it looks like. Oh. Oh. Oof. I think that one hit him. He did the work for me. I feel bad for that guy. Sorry to that guy, but I need your loot.
This player had an unfortunate accident and was very successful in giving me my first tier 3 vest and loads of supplies. What a guy.
Bruh. Tier 3 armor? This guy had so many mags too. He had so much gear and he just lost it all. And he probably doesn't even know he got shot. Oh, he's gonna run back. There's gonna be nothing left. I'm sorry, bro.
Now, my obvious next move was to depot all of this loot at base, and I still desperately needed nails, so my next move after this was LOADED Industrial. For the most part, it was quiet. I killed zombies along the way as much as possible for keys, and I looted shed after shed until inevitably I found yet another box of nails hiding away.
Box of nails. There we go. That's what we needed. I'm gonna run right back.
As I made my way back home, I stopped off to kill a few more zombies in the industrial, but that's when I heard the PA system turn on.
Alrighty, hello there, citizens of Novo. This is Radio Novo. Gonna play some Dancing in the Moonlight by King's Harvest.
And for obvious reasons, I won't be playing the copyrighted music, but this just goes to show yet again there were tower campers, and this time they were choosing to play music over the PA system. I just couldn't escape these types of players, but thankfully I did make it home again and began to work on my base right away. This continued into the night, first placing a fridge for food storage and then chopping down more trees. And finally, I built the next airlock. My base was expanding fast.
Okay, so I finished some of this, but this is where I ended, and I don't have a code lock on that. I'm gonna build some stairs here and then like a second story. That's all I really need. Just want like a little area to observe outside my base. We're going to Zeleno and Mishkino though. That's the only keys I have, so I mean, I really don't have any other options. I killed so many zombies and I just didn't see any.
Like I said, there weren't many options for me. A long trip across the map would only benefit me in the long run. I'd get more information on bases around the map, and that never hurts. So I set out towards Zeleno. This run seemed so long, all the way across the map, and again, I didn't run into any players. I made it to the fire station and opened the key room with ease. My inventory was full of weapons, armor, meds, and sellables. I had enough loot to focus more on PvP, something that I had been wanting this whole time. But unfortunately, I hadn't been lucky enough to run into any players. So after a bit of running around, I made it back home, depoted all of this loot, and went out to hunt for players. It was time for some kills.
Essentially, I just want to head out in PvP. I've done tons of building and stuff during the process of just having this space. I haven't done a ton of PvP. So we got a basic kit set up.
Now I ended up with quite a few kills. Between each fight, if I was close enough to base, I'd just run it back and drop all of it off before heading back out. So I started at Northeast Airfield.
This guy is going to have a buddy. Gonna have a buddy somewhere.
Not the most profit you've ever seen off of a kill, but as I moved out of the compound to the outer fence of the entire airfield itself, I spotted another one. I quickly looted this player's body and took what I had all the way back to base for a depot. Now I needed nails.
Okay, so I'd honestly like to finish the little second story, and I need nails to do that. So I may head down to Svetlo here.
Not long after leaving my front door, shots from Svet sounded off in the distance.
What is that? Why is somebody having a firefight in Svet? I mean, it could be zombies. Maybe somebody's looking for keys. I wouldn't mind swiping those things off of him on some Dora Explorer shit. Man, this guy could have keys. He could have nails.
One by one, I was dropping the players around me. I wasn't just looking for friends, but rather a fast track to base expansion. Keys, key cards, and nails, those were the golden ticket items for me. Thankfully, in the next train I looted, yet another box of nails was waiting for me.
Okay, we got the box of nails. I would like another one. Doubt we're gonna find it. And I was really hoping that guy had a few on him or something.
I took what I had found back to Olsha and immediately patched the holes in my base's defenses. After finishing the stairs and hatch, I laid the foundation for the second floor. But instead of continuing the building process, I headed back out one more time. You see, I just wanted one more fight, just something else to satisfy the PvP needs for this point. So I moved towards Northwest Airfield, but along the way I was stopped at Alter Radio Tower.
Oh my god.
Thankfully enough for me, it was turning morning time. I moved around the fence and inside the compound and approached the same gate from the rear.
That's 2 down. This guy could be uncon though, so I need to rush up on him. Okay, give me those.
After looting this body, I doubled back for the first kill at the main gate.
These guys came straight from their base. I need to cut up this body right here and then get out of here. We're filled up. I mean, we didn't even get to the keys. This base right here, I need to mark this.
I marked the base down for a potential raid in the future and moved all the way back to Olsha. I was stacking kits from small fights and key openings. My base was getting larger moment by moment, and I had built up a decent amount of sellable items for the black market trip. With the night vision I had just taken from the 2 players at Alter, I waited for darkness again and ran to Devil's Castle Black Market. I sold everything I had in my inventory and purchased a few extra sets of tier 2 armor. I then made it back home with everything, and this led me to finally starting that build on the second story of my home base. As I was building, I was totally unprepared for Timmy One Shot to show up looking for scraps.
What the fuck? Oh, he had nails. This guy had nails. What a delivery. Bro, 5 stars on DoorDash. God damn. Now the gun he had was dog, but this guy is so coming back. All right, the top little observing platform or shooting platform, whatever you want to call it, is finished. And that means this next run to Krasnostov changed everything for me. I entered the airfield as normal, looted around, killed zombies. I mean a lot of them too. And eventually I found myself looting the PD in Krasno town. Airstrip control office. Okay, well that's exactly what we needed. That's the first key card I've come across. We found it. With all of this loot, I rushed home and immediately got to building. You see, on most of these runs, I could guarantee a single box of nails and a code lock by the time I made it home, meaning every time I went out to depot, I'd build another airlock.
If I ran out of supplies, I'd choose the closest industrial key I had and open it, like this one in Chernaya Polana.
What do we get? Dog shit. Could have been better, but that's okay. It's just a key.
More runs, more nails and code locks. Sometimes I'd even run into heli crashes with a decent amount of supplies for my base too.
I mean, it was okay. Sfragino power station key.
So I stopped at this key room too, and again, more building. As you can tell in this portion of the video, it showcases how smooth this adventure had been. Success in PvP and base expansion. I hadn't lost anything, I hadn't been raided, I hadn't made any major mistakes yet. That is until this story makes a major pivot and I run into a group for the very first time while casually looting Novad Industrial yet again. This was some key loot, more sellables and keys, exactly what I was looking for. Though for some reason, instead of depoting all of this loot at base, I chose to run towards the Novad antenna key on the other side of town.
The fuck? There's another one?
Oh. After making multiple turns and stopping for a med pen, I was deleted. For the first time on this run, I had made a mistake by killing the first player. I wasn't about to let this group get away with it either. So I ran back to base, grabbed another kit, and ran right back to Novad because I needed to know where these players were. Did they have a base in Novad, or were they simply just running through? I needed to find them again.
There's that antenna I was going up to. I don't know where to look for these guys. I was like in the middle of fucking Novad. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Is this their base? This is a sloppy ass base. Tier 1 garage door. Then you're on the ladder, and then what? One? Bro, it's so sloppy and ugly right there. If it's just a 2C4 raid, I may want to do this.
I ran around this base that I had never seen before, multiple times, and at first I didn't see any players. But as I approached it again, I heard something.
Gotta be one of them. Fucking told you, bro. This has gotta be them. Ooh.
A few misses in a key moment. I had just stirred up the beehive of players this base housed, so I quickly rushed out of this building and repositioned in the hospital overlooking the first body of the player I had killed.
I don't know why I rushed that second shot on the guy. I should have just waited for him to stand still, hit a headshot. Now he's inside the base, just chilling, waiting for his friend to run back.
I was only waiting a few minutes up here, and then I spotted another player.
How did I miss that?
A couple more misses. I was messing this entire encounter up. In a feat to redeem myself, I only made it worse. With 2 deaths now, this group was responsible for all of this adventure's losses so far. They single-handedly took all of that good luck I had been having through this entire adventure and spread my cheeks wide with it. I simply couldn't let this happen. So I spawned back in, but this time I chose to run north and kill infected over and over until I built up enough keys and keycards for more C4. I needed it now more than ever.
Level 2 keycard, Northwest Airfield. Okay, I think we can go for that one.
Luck was still at my side. A keycard found late in the night in Zeleno Military. I now had an objective. So through that night, I journeyed all the way over to Northwest Airfield to open this bunker and hopefully secure more C4.
I think this is it right here. All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay, I can't put on the tier 3 yet. We gotta get out of here.
In this tree, I began to sort my loot, equipping my new tier 3 armor and admiring the amount of loot I had just secured. That is until...
What the fuck? I couldn't get everything, but I'm not sticking around, man. I am not sticking around. Holy, that is a turn of luck right there.
With so much gear on me, I wasn't taking any risks. I ran back to base and dropped all of this new equipment off. Multiple C4 charges, a tier 3 kit. All of this would be waiting for me when I did want to move in on this Novod group. But for the time being, I took out a basic kit and returned to Novod looking for weak points in this base. Anything I could use to skip gates.
We're getting closer. I really hope these guys didn't expand too much. Before, I think it was a 2 C4 raid, maybe 3. So if they added one more gate, I can still get through, but may need a bit more. If I'm able to get there, I might be able to see some of the gaps in the roof and see if there's another gate there, but I think we just assume there is.
This was exactly what I needed to find, a way to skip the first gate. I'd only need a couple of charges to break in this way. I needed to move quickly before this weakness was patched up, so I ran all the way back to Olsha, prepared a far superior kit of armor and weapons, grabbed a couple of charges, and moved out with the cover of darkness.
All right, this is it. We're gonna move in on this base, see what happens.
Now, to save you from watching the absolute dog water quality of these NVGs, I'll explain this to you. First, I moved out of my base and tried to find a vantage point looking over this Novod base. I observed absolutely no movement inside Novod or the surrounding area, so I then scaled the Blue Door tin building and jumped. Now that I was in, I placed the second charge on this next door and armed it.
No. We're gonna need more charges, bro. I need my other 2 to get through that.
Trapped inside with no more C4 charges and a car full of baddies waiting outside, I was starting to get the feeling that I had just lost this raid. If I did manage to escape, they would just rebuild the doors before I could make it back and place more charges. I was trapped here.
I thought this was just gonna be the loot room. But oh no, it goes in. Those guys are on the outside too, just chilling. He just ran by.
Okay, let's move.
I made it out. Yes, I essentially wasted 2 C4, but I wasn't done just yet. I returned all the way to Ulsha in my base and dropped off my tier 3 kit. And then I returned with a Mosin and far less armor just to see if I could harass these players a little bit more.
They've got to be looting for code locks and nails and stuff like that. Yeah. This is them. One hit. Shit. We're gonna make it. It's okay.
This was my cue to leave. They were traveling in a squad and there wasn't really much I could do without losing more and more kits to this group. I had wasted a few C4 charges, but at least I did kill a few of them. And with the initial raid, it scared them off. So instead of dwelling on these base owners, I went back to grinding key rooms, killing zombies as much as possible, gathering more and more keys and key cards, because if I wanted some truly juicy loot, I was gonna need more C4.
Okay, let's get in here. Open this up and get out of here. That's a heli crash.
So this was the basic routine. Gather keys from zombies, loot each room it unlocked, and cart all of that loot back to base. Kill zombies, open key rooms, depot loot. Over and over and over again. Each time adding another airlock to my base. Sometimes I'd even bring out a terrible weapon and just PvP with it.
Let's move. Bro had a box of nails too. We can finish off our next gate. Man, this base is getting kind of crazy. Here's the front door right now. Let me go through another. Look at that. 9 gates to get into our main loot room.
My base continued to expand. More zombies killed, more C4, more storage and loot, and more base expansion.
But now there's an airdrop coming to Krasnostav airstrip, and we're here early. I've only seen one other one this whole run. It's insane, man. They've all been so far away. Are you kidding? That's it? That's all you get from the airdrop? No way. No C4. Fuck.
This marked a point of no return for me. What you need to understand is I had been grinding for C4 components for multiple days on end. I had quite a few charges and I was really eager to start using them. So upon returning home, I stashed the ghillie suit away and started to search for different bases to target.
Alright, so I had to make a decision, and these airdrops, the key rooms, I'm just not finding enough key cards. I've got 2 charges on me, and if you remember the base over in Gvozno, it's right next to Severograd. I killed one of the players there, and I think it's a duo that owns it, so I saw 2 over there. This was like way back. I think this was honestly like when I was super sick. I think there's only 2 gates to get in.
A perfect starting point. A small shed base that could have more C4 hiding away inside. I took these 2 charges out with me and moved in on this Gvozno base.
Alright, we're coming up on the little shed base up here, just through these trees. God damn, bro. The shed was already taken out, but I wasn't giving up just yet. I think there's another base in town. Isn't that like such a weird thing? All these groups that I've ran into, that I've had little tiny interactions with, they all have been raided, bro. And it's been raided too. Wow, bro. Raided as well. Bro, they're raided. They're all gone. This was the first unrated base I came across. I had been running around with 2C4 looking for a small base, and there could be quite a few doors inside of this castle tower, but that didn't stop me. After a bit of thought about it, I placed the first C4 just as it was getting dark. I said we go for it.
I listened for players walking around upstairs or outside, and nobody ended up pushing me, so I broke down this backwards door and moved up the tower. I began to loot this castle tower. These base owners had put 2 gates backwards, allowing me to only use 1 C4.
Okay, so that's base number 1. It just was a single C4. Wasn't really that great, but I'll take it, man.
For a single charge, I felt like it was worth it. It was an easy run to get all of it back to Ulsha, too. Since I had just gathered a decent amount of nails from the raid, I also began to add another airlock to my base. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say 1? I meant 2. Once both gates were locked, I chose to search for my next target, and it didn't take very long for me to start looking through the town of Kalinovka.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. Raised all the way, too. Okay, single garage door. Tier 1 door. Looking promising so far. I don't know what's in that shack back there, but it's definitely for a car. So, I mean, even if this base didn't have anything, it's kind of worth it. It's like the first one that's not rated.
With no time to lose, I ran all the way back to base, grabbed 4 charges, and made it back to this base as the sun was just coming up.
Alright, so the main thing that I'm worried about with this is that. And is that flag raised all the way now? No. If those guys are online while I do this, it's gonna be horrible, bro. They're gonna come so fast.
Even with this massive base right next to my current target, I just went for it anyway.
Absolutely nothing in here, huh? Damn, man. Okay. Well, moving on to stage 2, I guess.
The main house had no loot at all, but there was still the shed outside.
For some reason, I feel like this is not worth it. Oh. 2 boxes of nails. Oh. Oh, blue keycard. Okay. Yeah, that's all I really need.
With this loot, I made it all the way back to base and depoted all of it before heading right back out for the 3rd time looking for yet another target.
3 more C4 and not a whole lot of targets, so I'm thinking, what if we go up to Karmanovka, where I built last video, and the towns behind it, and just see if there's any small solo bases kind of tucked away? I think that's kind of the play right now.
With no targets in mind at this point, I just ran up to Karmanovka, the town that I built in from last video, and checked for bases there.
All right, here's Karmanovka. I'm hoping there's just a little, maybe shed base or something I can, you know, crack into. Okay, there is a base in the shed, but it's already raided.
Karmanovka didn't have any other bases. It was really quiet, so I just moved behind the town to the next small grouping of houses to check for hidden bases.
Ooh. Little raided base down here too. Oh shit, look at that. These guys are online too, their flags raised. Look at this. I don't think I'll have enough to get in this one. Oh my god, what kind of sloppy work is this?
I had 3 more charges left, I most likely wouldn't be able to break fully into the core of this base, so I had to choose what gates I took down really wisely. Eventually, I decided to go through the garage door in the back of the base instead of the front.
You win some, you lose some. Let's just see what's in here. I just need a truck battery, bro. Is it a phony wall? The hell is that?
This was one ugly base, and with only one charge left, I could really only do one more thing to call this raid a success.
We need to find a truck battery really quick. If I can get this truck, I mean, it was worth it just for that.
I looked through every shed in the nearby area and found no truck batteries. I was gonna have to go to the next town over to look for one, but before that, I wanted to use my last charge on the front door. After deconstructing as much as I possibly could of this base, I loaded all of these planks and wall kits into the truck. Keeping all of the nails on me, I ran off to the next industrial loot spawn I knew in the area so I could get this battery.
There's a huge industrial building down here. We gotta find a truck battery down here, come on. Base here too, of course there is. Oh. Fuck. They're all beat up too, super low, so they might not come out for a bit. I gotta get down from this hill. Whew. Gotta move, gotta move, gotta move. It's up on the hill. Where are you going? Up into the trees. Okay, we're gonna dip. I'm gonna leave this group alone now. It was kind of fun. I wish I could have seen more of them. They got disappeared in the trees up there.
I still desperately needed a truck battery and wasn't finding one anywhere I looked. So as a last resort, I had to run all the way back home for some money. I could then take this money and run all the way to Black Market Trader and buy a truck battery just to run all the way back to this base and hopefully steal the truck.
Alright, well, we made it back. Good, good, good. Look at that. 670 nails.
I grabbed a little bit of cash and turned on my NVGs just to run out towards Black Market Trader. I was really running short on time. I needed to be quick.
Okay, Black Market is just up ahead somewhere. Alright, here we go. And we're out. Just like that, easy.
I had the battery finally, so I ran straight back to this partially raided base, hoping the truck was still there.
Okay, here we are. Just use NVGs while I'm driving. No headlights, and I think we should be fine. There it is. Bro, this base looks so much smaller now. Okay, perfect, perfect. It's still here.
I had the truck finally, but I did have to drive past that very same factory base I was just fighting with the owners in.
It's so risky driving down here. This is where those guys were. Keep on driving. Keep on driving. We just gotta keep going through Svet. Don't know the exact turn to get to my town, but it shouldn't be too hard. I think we got this.
This drive wasn't even that far, just really stressful. This truck was loud and at any moment someone could pop out of nowhere and dome me. But after a few minutes of driving, I saw my base up the road. I had hundreds of nails and planks with loads of wall and door kits from this raid. There was only one logical thing to do next to finish this base and adventure with.
Okay. We are finished. This is the completed base. I could expand more, but I don't really feel like it. I think this is good enough. Got our ramp going up to a code-locked garage. Got a massive ass truck. Super sick. And then obviously the inside, you guys have already seen this a bunch, but we'll do one more walkthrough. Got our shooting floor. Then we go in here. We've got just random gear. It's not organized at all. All over the place. This fridge is kind of empty, I think. Got the tent. And then the final door, we got our last bits of storage. Look at this. We did it. I think that's the end of our adventure. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm tired. It's been a long day. GG, boys.